welcome and namaskar to CA Dheeraj sir. Sir, welcome on behalf of ACCF. We are very honored, sir, that you always accept our invitation for enlighten our students for different topics, relevant topics, and practical exposure towards accounting. Sir, now I request Neha ma'am to start the session.
Yeah, I hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, so with the blessings of Honorable Founder President and under the dynamic leadership of our Honorable Chancellor Sir and the able guidance of Vice Chancellor Ma'am, Amity College of Commerce and Finance is conducting a workshop that is for final year undergraduate and postgraduate students on the value-added course titled Practical Exposure on Accounting, Analyticals, and Entrepreneurial Skill Development. And this workshop is confined for 30th August to 16th of September 2022. So on the third day of the workshop, I extend my warm welcome to CA Dheeraj Sharma sir. Sir is the Vice President at Sankalp Management Consultancy Private Limited and an immediate past chairman of Gurugram branch. That is the highest or the largest branch of NIRC of ICAI. He is also a fellow member of ICAI and he has undertaken research in the area of human resource practices, that is for sustainability development, for his doctorate in management. He has also received a certification in financial accounting and analysis from IIM Bangalore. And in emotional intelligence, he has taken up the course from IIT Kharagpur. Sir has conducted more than 500 sessions and workshops and also presented more than 20 papers, research papers in national and international conferences. He has also published numerous research articles in reputed journals, magazines, and in forensic accounting. Today, he will be enlightening our students on the topic related to roadmap to entrepreneurship, understanding startup ecosystem. Over to you, sir. Welcome you again, sir.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Neha ma'am. Thank you for such a wonderful introduction and welcome. And I really convey my congratulations to the entire team of ACCF that you people are always putting your best possible efforts to organize such programs and to ensure that the holistic development of students, it should be ensured in a practical manner. They should not only be sticked with their academic curriculum, but also they can get the opportunity to interact with the people who are from industry background, who are from chartered accountancy background, and who are from academic background simultaneously. So thank you so much. Greetings to Dr. Renuka Bakshi ma'am, Dr. Swaricha Johari ma'am, and all the team members of ACCF. And warm greetings to all the participants who are future of our nation, and we can say who are future of the entire universe as well, because you have much more potential in your hands. So let us start the formal session. So first of all, I believe that in the last two sessions, you have learned some new things, some different dimensions about your academics and all these things. Today is the third session of this entire series. Today's topic is roadmap to entrepreneurship and is understanding the startup ecosystem. Nowadays, everybody is talking about a startup. If 3, 4, 5 friends, even these people are school-going students, or college-going students, or research scholars, or the people who are already working with some good MNCs, if 4 or 5 friends are sitting together, or they are talking on any topic, so there is the possibility of more than students are thinking to start their venture in near future. The people who are working in private sector, they are thinking to start their venture with the help of their friends. Even the chartered accountants, the newly qualified chartered accountants who are working with Big Fours or who are working with the other Indian firms, they are also discussing to start their own practice. So everybody is thinking to take initiative towards the startup and to become an entrepreneur. So I hope all the participants, you people are also thinking about it. But what are the factors which we need to consider? What are the success stories which are to be kept in our mind? The challenges which an entrepreneur faces, and the particular things, the factors which affects success of an startup. So all these things we are going to discuss in this session. I request all the participants kindly be attentive and not only be present here, but also please make yourself available here as well, because your availability is much more important than your virtual presence. And feel box, or if host permits, then you can unmute yourself as well. My first question to every one of you, please feel free to answer my questions as well. I am very much sure कि किसी का आंसर गलत है तो मुर्गा नहीं बनाया जाने वाला उनको. So feel free to answer. My first question to everyone, who is entrepreneur? Because most of the times you people are thinking to become an entrepreneur, to start your own startup, or to family business. What do you mean by an entrepreneur? Please reply in the chat box fastly. Very basic question. No need to search Webster definition or Oxford definition. Anything which comes in our mind when we think about any entrepreneur.
Students can write their answers in the chat box.
Ma'am, there should be a scheme that the person who will answer most of the questions correct in the entire series, so he or she should be awarded. So then these people will get motivated to answer more and more questions in these sessions.
Yes, sir, definitely. We will consider it when we will distribute the certificates, that who was participative most in the workshop.
The best participation award will also.
This workshop is for you, so your participation is required, and this is how you get to know about many answers for your queries.
Because this is fact that most of the knowledge we people have, but the need is to compile that particular knowledge in a particular series of events, or we can say series of our understandings. So then only we can understand particular topic, particular discussion in a very easy manner. The thing, one verse from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, I would like to quote here before all the participants. Shraddhava labhate jnanam tatpara sanyatendrayam jnanam labdham param shanti machiranadi gacchati. The respect towards efforts of your faculties. Neha ma'am, Suricha ma'am, Renuka ma'am, Sujata ma'am, all these are putting their best possible efforts just for your learning. So please pay respect towards their efforts. Please pay respect towards the initiatives taken by Amity University. Please pay respect towards the time of yourself and faculties. So once you will feel that these 2 hours are not the formality, every session of these 2 hours, these 120 minutes are an opportunity to learn something new, then surely you will gain something in each and every session. Manviji answers, entrepreneur is a person who has new innovative ideas and want to start his or her own business with his or her ideas. Perfect. Anybody else who want to add something? Though this definition is almost perfect. So nowadays, entrepreneurship, we people think that entrepreneur is the person who have new idea. Obviously, yes. About what? About any product, any service, or even about the new market as well, or even about simplifying the existing process as well, about modifying the existing product as well. So this is not about launching a new product or new service. It's all about any creativity or new thing. Okay. Another thing is it all about starting new business? It covers starting a new business, or it also covers to push up, to boost an existing business as well. So if there is a family business run by your father, your uncle, your elder brother, and now you are looking to join that business, then also you are going to become an entrepreneur. So it covers an existing business as well as new business. Very good thing mentioned by Manviji, that with his or her ideas. Yes, absolutely. If somebody is doing business just because his family members are doing business and he is also sitting there, that means it's hidden unemployment. In 9th, 10th class, we have studied about it. It is hidden in unemployment. So if he or she has not any new idea or nothing to do new to boost the business, then it's an hidden unemployment. So there should be something new ideas all about. Okay. So as per you, the entrepreneur is the person who have some ideas and he creates some opportunities by implementing those ideas, by working on those ideas about what to launch any new product, new service, new market. Also with the great ideas about alternate procurement. In nowadays, we people are discussing about sustainable development as well. So if any entrepreneur, if any of you who is thinking to use about alternate of energy, alternative of plastics, alternative of anything particularly, which is leading towards, the shifting is leading towards environment safety as well. So then it will also be considered as new idea for entrepreneurship. It can include your efforts, penetration in the new market. It can include reorganization of an existing business as well. So overall, a person who organize, manage, and assume the responsibilities, all the risk and rewards about any business, that is a person who can be considered as an entrepreneur. So what is entrepreneurship? A person who is doing all these activities. So such activities can be considered as entrepreneurship, right? This is the basic definition, basic understanding that all the sum of all these activities is entrepreneurship. But there are certain more factors which affects our understanding about entrepreneurship. When we talk about entrepreneurship, it includes flexibilities as well. It includes compliance as well. It includes responsibility towards different stakeholders as well. So you have idea, you have started your own business, you became an entrepreneur, but to fully launch yourself, to fully define your activities as entrepreneurship, so some more things about compliance, about responsibility, about flexibility, about resource management, and these things are also to be taken care of. These are the very basic acts which we suppose that an entrepreneur is supposed to do. What he need to do, first of all, he need to, with some idea, he need to find some innovations, some new inventions, or he should develop some new process. He should create some new opportunities. Then with those opportunities, created those opportunities, with those ideas, with those innovations, transforming those opportunities into the merchandisable concept. That means that should be the concept of commercial use as well. If in your idea there is no mixture of, no combination of merchandising ability or commercial ability or profit making ability or business sustainability ability, then it cannot be considered as an entrepreneur. So after using these ideas for the commercial purpose as well, now create value through multiple stakeholders, which we have discussed. Different stakeholders are your employees, your vendors, your customers, government, the society, the environmental aspects. So to create the values with the help of multiple stakeholders, this is the overall functioning of an entrepreneur, working of an entrepreneur. So why entrepreneurship? Okay, my very basic question to every one of you, no definition, nothing is required. Just a simple question. How many of you or who among you want to become an entrepreneur? Is there anyone? Either yes or no, please reply in the chat box. So we will be able to check that whether you are available or you are only virtually present. Anybody want to become an entrepreneur? Anybody want to start their own startup?
Yes, all the students kindly give a reply either in the chat option, or if you want, you can raise your hand. I will unmute you and you can directly talk to the sir. Yes, students, your enthusiasm is required. This session is for you.
I thought students of MIT are really very much energetic and these people will ask a lot of number of questions. How I will be able to handle their questions? But this is the situation when these people are even not responding on the questions. Very simple. Anybody want to become entrepreneur? Anyone, please? Don't think I will not ask any counter question. So people are either hesitating to respond that I want to become an entrepreneur, or they are confused that whether I should go for a good package, good job, or I should become an entrepreneur, or they are just attending to fulfill their attendance.
Actually, so a lot of students are here who want to go for entrepreneurship. But I think, number one, yes, they are confused. Specifically, are you asking? You will ask a lot of questions. Students, sir is asking because lots of challenges, opportunities are here for all of you. Sir will expose all these. So please, if you are interested, we are very well aware you are. So please write down in the chat box and raise your hands. Actually, sir, we have not given an option to speak.
Okay. But people can reply in the chat box. So please reply in the chat box whenever we ask any question. It's completely on you. Nothing. It's nothing about right answer or wrong answer. Absolutely, whatever your response, it will give us an idea that how many of you have interest in the entrepreneurship and startup and all. So what is this? Do you understand this? There is a hybrid model of a car. So this is an example of innovation. This is an example of innovation. If somebody is saying that I am going to become an entrepreneur, I just want to start my own startup. So I have some ideas. So at the same time, the idea should be tested on the parameter that whether it is going to help the society at large, whether it is going to help the day-to-day activities of the human being, whether it is going to help the environment at large. So such ideas can only be considered for the purpose of invention, for the purpose of innovation, for the purpose of entrepreneurship. What is this? Anybody? Can you guess it? Can you imagine it? Anyone, any idea? Is this any ship? Is this any tower?
Sorry to interrupt you in between, but the slide which is visible to me on my screen is only about who is an entrepreneur. I guess that is the reason students are not able to give you the answer, because slide is not moving.
Okay, I have just moved my slides, but I'm resharing the slides. Just visible again. Now it is moving.
Still, it is not visible on my screen. I think it would take another few seconds. Yeah, now it is visible, and I can see that it is written in contemporary markets. This is the slide.
Yeah, next slide is moved.
Yeah, about entrepreneurship.
Okay, okay, fine. So this is the slide about which I am asking. Is this any tower? Is this anything, any ship? This is the photo of Nikola Tesla's lab. Years ago, it was a thought process that the invention or innovation can only be happened in an isolation. So if any company, any person, if they thought about doing some innovation, they people try to keep themselves isolated from the society. But nowadays, the scenario has been changed. Now, in the current time, the businessmen, even though their businesses are out of the residential areas, but still the innovation hubs, these are at the prime location of the mass populated cities like in Bangalore, in Mumbai, in Delhi as well. So the concept of innovation in isolation, it has changed. Slide is changed, ma'am? Yes or no?
Yes, sir, I can see.
Yeah, slide is changed. So yeah, sorry, I think there was
I think by mistake it has been unshared.
Yes, this photo is visible to everyone. This is the photo of Walt Disney's studio. Today we can imagine where these people are, but it was the starting of Walt Disney. And entrepreneurship process is what? The entrepreneurship process is, it's all about, first of all, identifying an opportunity. Being an entrepreneur, you must ensure that There should be an opportunity for commercial, opportunity for innovation, opportunity for implementation of your new idea, but there should be at least an opportunity for you. Then establish your vision that after 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the line, where I am looking with this opportunity, with this idea, what is my particular vision, how I am looking myself with this particular idea, how I am looking my business after few years. After establishing your vision, associate it with others. That means develop your own team, gather your resources in terms of raw material, in terms of services, in terms of funding, in terms of technical assistance, in terms of machinery, in terms of IPR. All these things which are required for a business, these are considered under this stage, gathering the resources and then creating new venture, new product, new market. Launch it and grab the opportunity. Once you are established in the market, now what is required? Only one thing is required, and that is adapt the changes with the time. In Bhagavad Gita as well, it was also mentioned, only the change is constant in the entire world. Only the change is constant. So always be ready to adapt the changes, to be ready to mold yourself, to modify yourself with the time. What is required for entrepreneurship? What is required for a new startup? In a basic thing, there should be some idea. Then you need resources in the two things. First is money, another one is talent. Or you can say first is talent and another one is money. So if you have an idea and you have required money, I'm not saying that your own capital, your own money, it can be funded by investors, it can be funded through AIF, it can be funded by bankers, it can be granted by government, or it can be fulfilled by your own resources. But if you have an idea and you have sufficient money to launch it, to implement this idea, and you have such talent as well. Talent is not all about your own intelligence. Talent is all about your HR resources, your human resources. It's all about your team. It's all about the expertise which your team owns. It's all about those. What is this? Some people are sitting there and they are discussing that we have considered every potential risk except the risk of avoiding all the risk. Do you understand this? Generally, what happens if we talk about any business, if we talk about any new idea, people say there is a risk in this work. And we say, yes, obviously there is a risk. कोई रिस्क नहीं लेना भी रिस्क है. There is a famous dialogue कि कोई रिस्क नहीं लेना भी रिस्क है. So if you think that there are certain risks in any business, in any idea, so I should avoid it. So avoiding the risk is the greatest risk for the entrepreneurs. So at least you must be able to take the risk. You must be able to take the lead. You must be able to understand the reward of that particular risk. However, you should take measurements to mitigate the risk, to reduce the risk, and to ensure the risk. But at the same time, considering the rewards of the risk, your actions should not be stopped just merely because there is some risk in any idea, in any business. Risk is everywhere. Okay, it was the famous TV advertisement of our childhood. Hina, Rekha, Jaya और सुषमा सबकी पसंद निर्मा. You people remember it, or you can, young people, you can search on YouTube as well, the old advertisement of Nirma. Nirma was the famous detergent manufacturer. But what was the story of Nirma? What was the story of the owner of Nirma, Dr. Krishanbhai Patel? If anybody knows about it, in a very brief manner, I will share the story of Dr. Krishanbhai Patel. And it's for particular to me, this story always inspires me as compared to a story of all other entrepreneurs. In 1969, a person, namely Mr. Krishanbhai Patel, living in Gujarat, and he was working as a chemist with Gujarat government. in the Department of Mining and Geology. And he was very sincere towards his work. At that time, he thought that something new I should do. He thought, what particular new product I can launch in the market to help the person. So at that time, Hindustan Unilever was having the monopoly about detergents and detergent cakes. So in that time, where HUL, a biggest brand, which was having monopoly, Krishanbhai Patel, he started his own new detergent powder. And what was the USP of that? HUL was selling their detergent powder at 13 rupees per kg, whereas Krishanbhai Patel was selling his detergent powder at 3.5 rupees per kg. And he named it on his late daughter Nirupama. His daughter Nirupama died in an accident, and in her memory, to always remember herself in his business, he named this product as Nirma. He named his company, even though at that time company was not formed, he named his own product Nirma. At his home, he and his wife, they people started to manufacture, to produce detergent powder. And before going to government office, and in the evening, after coming from the government office, in the morning time and in the evening time, Krishnabhai Mehta started to sell this powder to the shopkeepers using his bicycle, riding his bicycle at that time. But it was an innovation, it was a revolution, greatest revolution, that the 13 rupees, the detergent powder of 13 rupees is now available in 3.5 rupees, and even it is better than the detergent powder Surf Excel offered by Hindustan Unilever Limited. At that time, it was HLL, Hindustan Lever Limited. And today, where the Nirma is, we all know. We know Nirma salt, we know Nirma is in cement as well. Even Nirma acquired Imami Cement, Nirma acquired Lafarge Cement, Nirma acquired many of the companies. Even there is a Nirma University as well in Ahmedabad. So that is a person who took a vision. He started in the memory of his late daughter, and now we all know the success story of a person. That means his emotions worked as the biggest motivational factor for himself, and he has created the history. In the city, these are the two photos. Photo of Candle Square in US. Candle Square is a place in US, and which is considered as most innovative place in the entire universe. Most innovative place in the entire universe, Candle Square. Candle Square in 1969. This photo was captured in 1969, and this is Candle Square in 2020. There is significant change. And you know from where this change brought up? From here. In this 1 square mile area, these companies have their offices. Apple, Facebook, so and so, Twitter, Yahoo, Google, SI, Shell Techwork, Pfizer, all Johnson & Johnson, all such big companies, they have their offices, they have their innovation hub in the Candle Square, that 1 square mile area. This is considered as world's most innovative area, innovative square mile in the entire universe. That means if you think that innovation can only be happened in the isolation, this is not true nowadays. Nowadays, innovation happens when you discuss with the like-minded people, when you discuss with the people who are also working towards some innovation, who are also working towards some startup. An idea discussed with the like-minded people, and approved by them, approved by your team, an idea with some feedback from the established and successful people, that particular idea defines the strong foundation of a new startup. And if an idea merely coming in your mind and only you are thinking over it, and you are falling into the Yayati syndrome as per Mahabharata, and in the Yayati syndrome, you are overthinking about that idea only, you will never be able to execute in a good manner. One more thing, which we need to understand about entrepreneurship, which we need to understand about a startup, that is nowadays creating a buzz in the market, nowadays developing new market, nowadays launching new product in the market is not much more tougher in comparison to the period of 40-50 years ago. It was the time when a radio took 38 years total to reach to the 50 million listeners. The radio, it took 38 years. But when television, that means with the visual effect, it came, it took only 13 years to reach at the 50 million viewers. It took 38 years and it took only 13 years. And when internet was launched for publicly, it took only 5 years to reach 50 million users. To reach 50 million users, only 5 years. That means reaching at 50 million users, for radio, it took 38 years. For television, it took 13 years. And for internet, it took only 5 years. So now reaching at potential customer, developing your own brand, it is not taking much more time. Though idea, efforts, competition is very much high, but time frame is required that is lesser than the time frame required earlier. So if you have any idea in your mind, you can share with me. Okay, one thing I want to share with you all. I am a chartered accountant, yes, fine. But I am not a chartered accountant in practice. After enjoying my practice for almost 12 years, then I took retirement from chartered accountancy and I became entrepreneur. I am an entrepreneur. I have own trademarks, patents, even DIPB startup certificate in my own name from Government of India. So if you think that only IT people can become an entrepreneur or only the marketing people can become an entrepreneur, how the finance people can become an entrepreneur? They have only few opportunities about their job only, or they can explore in the research area, or they can explore in the academics. No, my dear friends, finance people can also become great entrepreneurs. Kumar Mangalam Bidla Saab, late Rakesh Jhunjhunwala sir, Mr. Uday Kotak from Kotak Mahindra. Finance people can also become great entrepreneurs. Aman Gupta from what? So these people are chartered accountants. These people are from finance background, and you can list out many of the people with MBA finance background, and they have established their business in a very good manner. There are two things on this screen. I really need your answer about this. In the first part, there are some cards. In the second part, there is a vegetable seller and there is a scanner. Anything which is coming in your mind after looking at these both the pictures? Sir, there was a time when if I want to pay you for anything which I have purchased from you, what I need to do, either I should pay you in cash or I should draw a check in your favor, or I should visit my bank, fill the request form for RTGS or NEFT, attach the check for that particular purpose and submit it to the banker, and banker will credit the amount to you. It was the entire scenario of banking transactions. Later on, somebody thought that nowadays internet banking is going viral. People are starting about internet banking. They are thinking about it, and they are now more aware about internet banking. So somebody launched a card. Boss, you don't need to log in your net banking credentials every time. Whenever you want to make any payment, please on this card, have this card. It is linked with your bank balance. Whenever you want to make any payment to the shopkeeper, there is a POS machine and you can just swipe it. You can just swipe it and payment will be deducted. Neither you need to carry cash amount, nor you need to visit your bank, nor you need to log in your net banking. So now it is very much easy. If in a day I am purchasing from 10 shops and I want to make them payment through my bank directly on spot. So 10 times I need to log in, I need to put my credentials, and then I need to make payment. But now I just need to swipe my card. So money is mine. It is going to be deducted from my bank account, and it is going to be credited in the bank account of the shopkeeper. What is the role of card owner company? What is the role of MasterCard, RuPay, Visa card, American Express? What is their role? Just they are facilitating the payment. Just they are facilitating the payment. They have created new idea about the payment functionality, and they are charging from the bank. If you are using credit card, credit has been provided by your bank. Visa is not providing you credit of 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 5 lakh rupees. Credit is being provided by HSBC, HDFC, SBI, by your bank. You are utilizing. You are paying interest to your bank. You are making payment just by swiping this card, or just putting the details of this card on any online payment portal, and they are charging for every transaction. Believe me, for every transaction, these card owner companies are charging from the banker, not from you, but from banker. They are charging for every transaction. So create such idea. Just facilitate the process. No new product, no new service. They just facilitate the net banking facility, online banking facility, and merely facilitating this and maintaining this through their servers. Maintaining this through their servers. Else they are doing nothing, and they are earning huge amount from on the basis of your own transactions. This is an idea which is called as jin kamata hai. That's the Marwadi businessman. This is, if you are earning for yourself, there is a limit. But if you own a jinn to earn for yourself, then you can enjoy. Now the owner of this company can enjoy. You will transact and he will earn. Again you will transact, he will earn. You will make default, bank will charge from you, then also he will earn. For every transaction, he is earning. On the next part of this slide, one scanner with a potato seller, Paytm. This is the new facilitation. Very good. This is the new facility provided by new facilitator, new service provider. People who fed up of net banking, they started to use cards. Now, the people who is fed up of using 3, 4, 5 cards and swapping everywhere. Even the shopkeepers, a small vegetable seller, he was not able to implement the card swapping facility at his shop because of the costing, because of the fixed deposit which he had to give to the card swapping company. But now he can own Paytm scanner at no cost. And what you need to do, just scan it, pay it. Nothing. Much more simpler and much more easier, cheaper for the businessman person to implement. So if to make the people ready for the net banking, it took 10 to 20 years. It took 10 years for the cards as well. But within 2 to 3 years, Paytm, Bharat Pay, Phone Pay, Google Pay, First Pay, these scanners are covered, captured the small businessmen. And what they are doing, your money you are paying to the vegetable seller, but you are paying, even money is going to be deducted from your bank and it is going to be credited in the bank of vegetable seller, but you are just scanning it instead of net banking, instead of card swapping, and he charging. The scanner company charging. Abhimanyu ji mentioned that card is for the rich, whereas Paytm can reach the poor as well. Yes, Abhimanyu ji, perfectly. It was the different because the owning the POS machines, it was possible for big, good size businessmen persons, but owning the scanner is possible for everyone. At the same time, initially the card companies were charging for transaction fees from the customer as well, or the bankers were charging from the customers as well. So in that scenario, what happened? People says if 2% will be deducted, 2% will be charged, then why I should swipe the card? But in Paytm, no charges is there. In scanning, there is no charges. So they have increased their reach. They try to reach to the last person in the society. There are 3 pictures on this screen, right? There are 3 photos, 3 pictures on this screen. First is Kodak. Second one is Tata Nano. Third one is Kingfisher. Anybody who can answer about the Kodak? About history, about background, what they are doing, or anybody who can answer about the similarity among these 3? Sir, Kodak was founded in 1888, if I'm not wrong, in 1888 in Japan, and it was world's #1 company in cameras, their reels at that time. Abhimanyu answered that cheapest products in their category. Yes, one thing, they were cheapest in their category. Another thing is all these 3 are out of the market now. Reasons may be same or different. Kodak is out of the market because of lack of invention. They people were putting their best possible efforts to capture the global market, the world's largest company, making cameras, making their reels, and all of a sudden it got bankrupt. Who can imagine Kodak can be bankrupt? Even in my childhood, I have used Kodak camera with the reel, click, click, click. We have used flashing and these things were there. And then thereafter, using those red color reels, the photos have been printed. Sir, but now Kodak is bankrupt. You know why? Because of lack of invention. Once the digital camera launched by other companies, Kodak camera was obsoleted. Now, no reel is required, only memory card is required. There is no need of washing off reels before printing the photos. Directly prints can be taken. Then, at the same time, there was one more company, Fujifilm. If you have heard the name, sorry. Do you know about this company, Fujifilm? Fujifilm was the company which was also manufacturing the reels for the cameras. But Fujifilm is not bankrupt. Even it is working very good nowadays as well. What they did? They shifted their segment. Instead of making the reels for these cameras, they started to make the reels for X-ray machines, for CT scan machines. For these machines, they started to develop their reels. Fujifilm is still doing good, and Kodak got bankrupted because of lack of invention. When it got bankrupted, there were tears in the eyes of their directors that we owned. We ruled the market for nearly around more than 100 years, even around 120 years. And all of a sudden, we are going to close, we are going to shut all the operations, and we got bankrupt. Where innovation lacks, entrepreneur fails. Where new invention lacks, all the startup fails. So creativity, innovation is not only required to start the business, but also it is required to run the business. Next one is Tata Nano. Tata Nano was good. It was good in all manner. It was cheapest, it was good in terms of mileage, it was good in terms of running cost. In all the manners, Tata Nano was the perfect. It was great product. Why it has failed? Because of wrong branding. The branding of Tata Nano was done by saying only one thing: the cheapest car, cheapest car, cheapest car. And in India, if somebody has the stamp of being cheapest, people feel inferior to use that. Just only because of that, people started to buy that bike of 1.5 lakh rupees, but they didn't buy The Tata Nano of 1.4 lakh rupees. That means the stamp of being cheapest. Creativity was good, product was good, innovation was good, cost efficiency was good, everything was good. But here the company fails in terms of marketing. So for an entrepreneur, the creativity, the skills are not only required in product and service, these are required in the marketing as well. If you are promoting your product as cheapest product in the market, for a short-term period, you can get the customer, but in the long run, people will feel inferior to that. Third one is Kingfisher. Why Kingfisher failed? Why do you think Kingfisher failed? Because of mismanagement of the finance, Kingfisher failed. UB Corp failed. Vijay Mallya ran away from in India because of mismanagement of the finance. So for an entrepreneur, for a startup, the financial management is also important. Do you think about Nokia keypad mobiles? Nokia had the monopoly on the mobiles, monopoly in the mobile sector, Nokia had. And now, where the Nokia is? The Finland originated company, which was number one in the entire world in mobile phones, and now very few proportion they are having from the market because of innovation in their product. When people were thinking on the touch screen, they were thinking to move for touch screen mobiles, and at the same time, Nokia failed to provide new touch screen mobiles on time. Another mistake which Nokia did, people always look about their comfort. Though 1 year later to the Samsung or Motorola and BlackBerry, Nokia launched its touch mobile. But again, a mistake which was done by Nokia team, they launched Windows mobile, Windows operating system. But people who were already using the touch screen mobiles of Samsung and all these companies, they were using the Android operating system. So once somebody used Android operating system, it was very much difficult to move on the Windows operating system. So again, because of this mistake also, Nokia failed. Abhimanyu ji has one doubt. Recently, you shared an example of Nirma when you told its product was cheaper in the market and it was its USP, got the market share traction, but the same went go well for Nano. Yes, sir. There are two things in this. First of all, when Nirma was launched, it was launched 50 years ago. It was launched 50 years ago. At that time, the money was one of the key factor before purchasing. The price was a key factor to decide the purchasing of a product. Tata Nano was launched 10 years ago. At that time, the cheaper factor, because it is cheapest, its factor became the factor of inferiority. Now, if today, if Nirma or any company want to launch a product in the name of being cheapest, it may not survive, it may not develop their brand. They need to show some other USP. One of my own experience, last month, in the July month, I was sitting with some innovators. I was discussing about startup funding, sitting with our AIF consultant as well to get the funding for my own startup. So when I was presenting, it is my own experience. I was presenting about our USPs that showing, so we are unique in the market. We have a unique kind of this particular dashboard, this. And then I have shown them, sir, one more thing which is unique in our product is we are cheapest in the market in comparison to Udemy, in comparison to Simplilearn, in comparison to Byju's, or in comparison to any other edtech companies. Our product is cheapest one. And at the same time, immediately our AIF consultant, he raised the hand and said, this is not your USP. You are saying that you are selling your product at cheapest price. There may be the possibility that somebody will sell it for free, like Jio did it. Earlier, the competition between Vodafone, Idea, Airtel, BSNL, Uninor, there were certain companies, Reliance, Arcom, and the competition was for their facilities. Who is giving the cheapest message pack? Who is giving their cheapest data? One day Jio came and he offered all free of cost. So the parameter of being cheapest lost their effect, and later on, now Geo captured most of the market. So being cheapest is not USP nowadays. It was an USP 50 years ago. Nowadays, something being cheapest may give you some advantage, but of course, something new, something additional you need to give. Like now, telecom companies are putting, just we are going to launch our 5G. We will be the first in 5G. Our network is good. People are fighting now on the network quality instead of fighting on their recharge prices, on their postpaid bill prices. I think clear, Abhimanyu, or any counter question is there? Being cheapest was USP 50 years ago, but nowadays it cannot be USP. It can be one factor only.
Sir, he has written yes. So he got a clarity from whatever you have discussed right now.
Okay, Vinuj, thank you, and Abhimanyu, thank you for asking the questions. People like you, they create creativity and in fact inspiration for us as well. Otherwise, it seems like I am recording my classroom video. Otherwise, it feels. Thank you, Abhimanyu sir. Okay, moving on the next slide. What are the skills which these successful entrepreneurs they own? Let Dhirubhai Ambani, respected Tata Saab, Premji Saab, Mittal Saab, Mr. Shiv Nadar of HP. What these entrepreneurs, these people have skills. These are the skills. This is not an exhaustive list. This is a brief list. Few skills, few factors we are discussing here. First one is risk takers. Avoiding all the risk is greatest risk. So risk taker, it should be the good skill. Then flexibility. We have discussed in earlier as well in starting slides that in entrepreneurship, flexibility is always required. Then your knowledge as well. Sir, it is not all about your knowledge in terms of your degrees. It's all about your knowledge about business, your observation power, your skills, your understanding about the business. He should be independent. What do you mean by being independent in an entrepreneurship? And a startup, what do you mean by being independent? Sir, independent means unbiased. If you are an entrepreneur and you are biased for a particular employee in your team, you are biased for a particular customer or for a particular vendor, then you cannot do good business. This customer is good. I have good thoughts for him. Give the material on credit, and one fine morning you read it that the customer got bankrupted. Oh my God, my entire money went in the well. It happened because of your biasness. If you are biased for your employee, one employee, it will give negativity or it will give insecurity kind of feelings to your all other employees. If you are biased towards one vendor, that vendor is good, that vendor is good, you can never be able to explore other better and cost efficient products. So you must be independent in your business. Then energetic. Obviously, an entrepreneur should be energetic, just like your teachers, your speakers are energetic. Even without your energetic participation, these people are showing their full energy with the hope that people are learning something new, and at least few things they must learn from their session. So energetic should be, being energetic should be an essential part of an entrepreneur. Creative, that means good ideation, good thought process, creativity, thinking about something new. Dynamic leader. In every situation, the person, he must be or she must be able to show the aggressions wherever required. And he or she must be able to show their calmness wherever required. Aggression and being calm, both are required. That kind of dynamic skills are required. He or she must be able to cope up with the elders and with the youngers. He or she must be able to be comfortable with their workers, and also they must be comfortable and confident with their investors. So such dynamism is required. Then responsive to the suggestions or criticism. If somebody is criticizing you, Nindak niyare rakhi angan kuti chawai, bin pani sabun bina nirmal kare subhai. If somebody is criticizing you or somebody is giving suggestions to you, don't think, ye sikhayega mujhe. Don't think like that. Think, this is an opportunity to learn. Think, this is, if I will going to implement these things, these are going to surely help me. Think that you must be thankful for those people who are giving you suggestions free of cost in the form of their criticism. So always be positive to respond the suggestion and criticism. But remember, it doesn't mean that if anybody is giving you suggestions, you are implementing every suggestion provided by any people. No. Suno sabki, karo man ki. At least you should listen the suggestions. You should accept the criticism positively, then think it and then implement it. If you think that this particular suggestion given by Mr. X is not implementable, not practical for me, then leave aside it. If you think that, yes, implementing this particular idea with few modification and alteration, it is going to help me, then implement those. Then resourceful. What do you mean by resourceful? What do you mean by resourceful? Resourceful in terms of your thought process. Resourceful in terms of creating resources. Resourceful in terms of maximum best possible utilization of resources. Resourceful in terms of creating alternate material, alternate service, alternate staff, alternate mechanism. That is called resourceful. That a person who never think that all the doors are closed. Every time he think that still one door is open. I can manage it. Who always see opportunities. That is the person who is considered as resourceful in an entrepreneurship. Then initiator. Many people have ideas. Though this is a virtual session, if it could be a physical session, and if I give you an activity to list out your ideas, I am very much sure at least 20 to 30 great business ideas are in your mind. At least 20 to 30 great business ideas are in your mind. But why you are not doing business? And with the same idea, somebody else will start the business. Because please become the initiator. At least you should be the initiator as well. You must have the courage to start the process. You must have the courage to start the activity. And once you start, then you must be persistent, continuous. There is a concept of COD in business, right? What do you mean by COD? There is a concept of COD in online business, cash on delivery, right? As per you. But for me, COD is not cash on delivery. COD is the essence, the soul of any entrepreneur. COD is soul of any entrepreneur. That means COND. Somebody mentioned something. C mentioned consistent. Yes, Abhimanyu ji, perfectly. COD is not cash on delivery. Three things. C, that means consistent. Consistency is always better than perfection. Though it took 10 years for me to realize this thing. If this question was asked to me, Dheeraj, you would prefer perfection or consistency? Then I might have replied that I love perfection 10 years ago, 5 years ago. But few months ago, in fact, not years, few months ago, I realized that consistency is always better than perfection. If I have spent my 3 years to achieve the perfection, and another one, he started with the consistency, even with imperfection. Today, I am, in terms of quality, I am perfect, good, or I can say I am perfect, but still, his achievement is higher than me because of his consistency. he achieved more than me. That is the comparison between perfection and the consistency. Though perfection is required, but if we compare perfection with the consistency, consistency is always better than the perfection. In fact, consistency helps you to achieve the perfection gradually over the period of time. So first thing is consistency. Second thing is observation power. This is really a pain in my heart because I conduct sessions on emotional intelligence. And when I ask questions from the people, either in virtual session or in physical session, when I visit some central universities and when we conduct such kind of programs, including IIT and other central universities, one thing which really hurts me, and that is the lack of the observation power in the youth nowadays. People are achieving degrees, absolutely right. People are having knowledge, they are having good presentation skills, but they are dependent of a teacher to teach them. Either any book or any coaching or any teacher or any video, they are dependent on all these things. They are not using their observation power, observation skill. Your observation skill says, if two people are talking, if I and Neha ma'am are talking about anything, any business idea, and you are sitting over there and you listen from us, then you must be able to note down some notes from our discussion. Observation says, let me ask you one question related to observation. In your family, in your relatives, one of your cousin started a business, and he started the same business about which you are thinking to start. Let's say business of tea, business of packed tea or kadha or all these things. He started this business and he is earning good, and you are always fighting with your family, with your parents. Papa, give me some amount. I also want to start this business. I was thinking about it, and he started, and see, he is earning a lot. Always you are comparing yourself with him. But one fine morning, you met him and he said, I have closed my business. You ask, why? You were making money. Why you closed your business? And he said, I was making money in terms of contribution. That means I was recovering my variable cost. But in terms of depreciation, in terms of interest, in terms of my opportunity cost, in terms of other fixed costs, it was loss-making business for me. That's why I have closed it. Now, will you start it? After going to home, will you say to your daddy, Daddy, give me amount. I will start tea business. Your observation says, rethink. Dheeraj, rethink about it. There may be something wrong with you as well, just like your cousin. This is called observation. Learning from the outcome of others. Observing others' discussion, others' journey, others' business, others' ideas. So observation should be there. It always helps you to achieve the creativity stage. And third one is your discipline. Discipline is clearly required, even not only in business. If you are a student, discipline is required. If you are a teacher, discipline is required. If you are a research scholar, discipline is required. If you are an entrepreneur, discipline is required. Everywhere, discipline is required. This is the key to success. Discipline is the basic pillar of every activity. In your student life, if there is no discipline, you cannot even imagine the success for you. Somebody told me, sir, I have committed that tomorrow morning I will wake up at 4 a.m. and I will study for 4 hours. I appreciate it. On the next morning, he really woke up at 4 a.m. That's great. Every day, gradually, now it became part of his daily routine that at the early morning, 4 a.m. he wakes up. Early morning, 4 a.m. he wakes up, and thereafter, for few minutes or few hours, he studies. Then thereafter, he start WhatsApp, Facebook, other activities, talking to the friends. Though he is waking up at 4 a.m., but he's studying only 2 hours instead of his committed 4 hours. He's fulfilling his commitment of waking up at 4 a.m., but he is not disciplined. Because of that, he is not getting the actual expected outcome of waking up at 4 a.m. This is the thing. So COD, commitment, consistency, observation, and discipline. Your commitment is part of your discipline itself. These are the stages of startup. It's not high time to replace the word risk taker with calculated risk taker for the entrepreneur. This term can be changed, but Abhimanyu ji, if you recall initial slides, I mentioned it: risk mitigation, reduction of the risk insurance. All these factors are to be taken care of. That means only taking the risk is not a good idea. Considering risk and reward, considering effect of the risk, considering the risk mitigation factors, risk reduction factors, risk insurance factors, re-risk factors, and risk of not taking this risk. This is also a risk. So considering all these factors, we can say risk takers, or we can say the calculated risk takers. If a person is taking risk without any calculation, or without any precautionary measurement towards the risk mitigation, then that is the blind person taking risk. We cannot say himself an entrepreneur. So these are the integral part of risk taking, that these factors have to be covered. Clear, sir? Obviously, all the entrepreneurs are calculated risk takers. And these are the stages of a startup. We will cover it, and thereafter I will ask you a few questions. Though I am wondering how many of you will reply. These are the stages of startup. If you people are thinking of starting your own startup or thinking of being an entrepreneur, if you people are thinking about it, first stage is ideation. That means any idea coming in your mind, that is the ideation stage. New idea. You have a lot of such ideas. Anybody has thought about Kindle version of the books earlier, 10 years ago? Anybody had thought about the Paytm 10 years ago? Anybody has thought about online studying, online learning, online college, such online, even 3 years ago? Have you ever thought about such kind of online programs? I am sitting in Gurugram, you are sitting in Noida, and we are conducting program virtually. 3 years ago, it was supposed to be happened in physical mode. So ideation, thinking, thought process, any creativity about any new work, new task, new service, new market, the change in the process, about all these things. Then second stage is concepting. So we can say, first there is an idea in your mind, right? Then you have listed out the entire process of setting up your own business, all the calculations about your projections, profitability, scalability of your business, financial management of your business. So concept has been created. Second thing is working. Third is start your business and see the result. That is validating. You thought that I will sell this particular product in the market. First you thought, then you have prepared all the project reports, then you started to sell your product in the market. This is the validating stage. You are getting feedback. You are changing your product. You are rethinking about your business. Once validating stage has been crossed by you, now your product is has created some space in the market, and you need to focus on the scalability. So for that stage is early traction, that your product is has created the space in the market. It is on selling mode, and now you should focus on the scaling. That means booming your business. So first, there should be an idea. Second, please prepare the entire project. Third, implement it, validate it, get the feedback from the people, get the feedback from the ultimate customers. Then early tractions, and then scale. One more thing which I want to share about the funding of startups in this slide only. Many of you are thinking about a startup because I see chartered accountants think that they are very much creative. So some young chartered accountant, they come to me with their ideas because I own one AIF as well, alternate investment fund registered with SEBI, where some HNI, some startup founders, they place their money in the form of commitment to invest in some new startups. So they approach us, Mr. Sharma, please help us to get some funds through your AIF. What I observe, what I see in them, we have an idea, and basis on this idea, we need funding, and this is our valuation. Boss, you have only idea. On the basis of idea, obviously you can get funding in terms of debt, in terms of convertible debentures, or in terms of equity as well. But no valuation works there. It's completely mutual understanding. I said, I want to sell this mouse. I want to sell this stylus. I want to do this thing. This is my idea. On the basis of idea, funding can be in the form of loan. Funding can be in the form of equity, but not any valuation. Second stage, some people come. Sir, we have project the entire structure, prepared this project structure, and this is our evaluation. Again, they are committing the same mistake. You have only idea and Excel work. Based on the Excel work, you can get the money, but not the use valuation. Some people who are right, who comes at the right stage, that is validating stage. It can be considered as the first phase of seed funding. Though seed funding can be taken at ideation stage and concepting stage as well, but in 90% cases, it is not seed funding, it is basically equity and funding and getting good equity. Any idea has no value unless it is executable. Obviously, yes, once you will share, Abhimanyu, your idea with the prospective investor, he has the idea whether it is executable or not. Based on your idea, 90% things investors either they will reject or they will say, start with your own money. Start with your own hard-earned money, reach at the validating stage, then we will give you valuation. Otherwise, we will give you money, but we are 50-50% partners. I will offer you amount and you will be the person who will take care of the business. You can't say that I am giving my 10% equity for 2 crore rupees. That means 20 CR is my valuation. You can't say. You can't say about it. At third stage of validating stage, yes, when people ask money, when people ask for funding, investors, they feel more zeal, they feel more interest, more energy, more enthusiasm to invest. This is the best stage where you can get good valuation in the starting, but go there only if you really require amount. Unless, please don't dilute your equity there. So in that stage, you will show them, yes, I have created this product. That means prototype is ready and we are launching it in the market. Prototype is ready, feedback has been taken, and we are launching in the market for the mass selling. We are moving towards the early traction selling stage. So at that time, you can get some valuation as well and funding. Then at early traction, again, very good stage, you can get good money. And if you reach at a scaling position, your valuation can be multi-folded. Let me give you an example. If you are thinking to launch a organic products business, that means business of organic kada, organic tea, organic medicines, and product of organic products business of all these such organic food, grains, and all these things. If you come to me with this idea only, maybe I will not invest you. Hypothetical situation, maybe I will not invest you. If you come to me with your projections, maybe I will invest there. I will be investing there, but at 50% equity. If you comes to me at the validating stage, there is the possibility that I will invest there, and also I will give you the leverage of the amount already spent by you. That means my equity proportion for the same amount can be lesser than 50%. If you comes to me for early traction phase, maybe for the 10% of stake, I can invest crores of the amounts which I was investing in the concepting stage or validating stage. And if you come to me at a scaling stage, maybe I can invest the same amount for 1% of equity. That means if you are getting money, you are raising money at ideation or concepting stage, or if you are getting money, raising money at scaling stage, there is the possibility that your valuation will be increased 50 times in this process, subject to the multiple different factors, but this is the possibility that your valuation may be increased up to 50 times. So any question, anything you want to ask about startup stage, startup funding, startup factors? You people see Shark Tank India, right? I'm not saying to see about all these things in that particular show, but yes, I would suggest you, if you want to become an entrepreneur, at least attend those particular, at least watch those particular episodes in which the investors, they have invested the more amount. At least those episodes, please see at least those episodes, because if those successful investors are investing in those ideas, you may calculate about those ideas, and also you may list out the questions, the factors which the investors are considering before investing into those businesses. To someone they are giving 1 crore rupees for 10% capital, and to someone they are giving 1 crore rupees for 1% equity. To someone they are giving 50 lakh rupees for 50% capital. So these factors are to be listed by yourself. Valuation is subjective and may vary investor to investor. Yes, what's your take on this? Valuation is very much subjective, and it really varies investor to investor. Like for me, if you will come to me for food industry, maybe I will give very least valuation to you, very low valuation to you. But if you come to me for education industry, valuation which you are expecting and valuation which I am offering, there may be the possibility that I am offering more than your expectation. It is purely on investor to investor. But yes, of course, it ranges in a particular range, between particular up and down range. It doesn't mean that you are expecting the valuation of your business 100 CR. One investor is offering you 100 CR valuation, another investor is offering you 1 CR. It means one is offering you 70, 75 CR, another one may offer you 100 CR. But the difference may be, the range may be deviated in the percentage 20 to 30% only. It doesn't say that a significant difference in the investor to investor valuation. But obviously, this is purely subjective thing, subjective analysis, the investment and the valuation is. These are the challenges which entrepreneurs faces. These are these challenges. Knowledge gap, first of all. You have knowledge about your business, but you don't have knowledge about all other factors. Different laws and regulations. In India, though government is trying to ensure ease of doing business, but still there are different laws and regulations are there. And because of that, the person, usually the entrepreneur in the early stage, they have to be stuck in the compliance part. So I would suggest you, in that particular situation, a good entrepreneur who has a long-term good vision, he should have good consultants, but he should save his time. Third thing is market analysis. Obviously, market of your product. You'll be surprised to know that in African countries, many of the Indian businessmen, they are investing in African countries in their food industry, in their travel industry. They are investing in their infra industry in African countries. They are top businessmen of African countries. In India, people don't know them. Why? Because they have done their market analysis and they found it is difficult for them to launch their product in India, but it is easy for them to launch their product in the developing or undeveloped countries, like in Cambodia or in Vietnam. Many of the Indians are investing over there. Then resource management. Resource management, not all about your human resource. It's all about human resource plus money, plus material, plus machinery, plus IPRs, plus idea. That means all kind of resources which are required, man, money, machinery, and everything which is required for a business. That is resource management. Communication gap is also a challenge for an entrepreneur. Sometimes what happens, I am trying to convey my message, trying to convey my vision to my team member. It is not possible that my team member is able to understand in full true spirit. Just like in a classroom, teacher is one, same teacher is teaching 100 students in the same classroom, same topic, same thing. But among these 100 students, the level of understanding of each student is different. All the 100 students cannot achieve equal marks. All those cannot say that whatever Swaricha ma'am or Neha ma'am taught us, we all know it in equal manner. There may be students who understood everything, who said, ma'am, yes. There may be some students who says, ma'am, upar se gaya. So that means that is the communication gap. Even the same person is passing on the communication, the message to the multiple people in the team, but everybody is not able to understand the actual message in the true spirit. That is the biggest challenge for the entrepreneurs as well, especially in the starting phase when they cannot change their employees again and again. They cannot hire experts of everything. They have to manage with the limited resources, limited pool of human resources. Then the socio-eco factors are also there. These are also great challenge for them. The socio-eco factor says our society, if you are thinking to set up your factory for wine, vodka, beer in a residential area, the social factor, social challenge is the people of that particular residential area will resist of this setup, and you have to shift your setup. Sooner or later, you have to shift your setup from here to another place. There are certain eco factors are also there, economic factors are also there. You are doing your business on debt fund. All of a sudden, rate of interest increased. Now it is difficult for you to meet out the interest liabilities first. It is very much difficult to you. Economy, your society, your environment, your government, there are multiple external factors. They create challenges and opportunities both for the entrepreneurs. But of course, these challenges are to be addressed by the entrepreneurs in a very good manner, in a very practical manner. This is a checklist I want to ask you before summing up the session. You people are not asking the question, so I am asking the question. This is the checklist before you. Okay, dear friends. First question, read it and mark it in your notebook.
Yes, all the students, you're requested to please look into these questions and keep an answer with you that what are the correct options out of these questions.
Yes, absolutely said by Neha ma'am. Please list out, please note down your answer in your handbook, in your mobile or somewhere. Then we will discuss which answer is correct. Or you can reply in the chat box as well. Which answer is correct for question number 1? Now you may say, you may ask one question to me, Dheeraj, I think business knowledge, yes, this is the correct answer. Market awareness, yes, this is the correct answer. Hands-on management, again correct answer. Sufficient capital, this is the correct answer. And hard work, this is also the correct answer. But there is no option of all of above. RPG answered business knowledge. Yes. Someone else? Option A, Pooja ji mentioned business knowledge, right? Abhimanyu, it need to be all of the above, but all of the above is not the option in this question. Though correct answer is all of the above, but all of the above is not the option. In these 20 questions, the options has been defined and actual answer is to be provided in the form of which one is more suitable. That means the priority. All these 5 are required. But what if we define, if we list out these in order of preference? So which one will be the first preference? The answer given by 2 participants is option number A, business knowledge. Yes. If we define their levels, so first of all, we need business knowledge. It comes first. Then market awareness, it comes second. Obviously, we must be able to know about market. Then hands-on management, your management should also be good. It comes there. Then sufficient working capital should be there. Otherwise, thodi punji dhani ne khaye. There is a the Marwadi proverb. So at least there should be sufficient capital. And then your hard work. This is the order A, B, C, D, E. Arey wow, very easy question. It need all of above. Ma'am mentioned market awareness. Yes, ma'am. This is also the correct answer. So ultimately, first of all, we need business knowledge, then market awareness, then hands-on management, then sufficient working capital, and then hard work. Okay. Second question. If a relative ever asks me for advice about starting a business, I will tell them to. What advice you will give them? What advice you will give them? Preference. What would be your first preference? Option A, Arpit Gupta ji. Work for someone else in the field first. Okay. Write a business plan, study the marketing, give up the idea, learn about busting. Okay, option A. Sir, again in this question, if we talk about most preferable answer, first we would suggest them at least get the idea about the business, not only from Google. Please work for someone else, not for 5-10 years, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, but at least involve yourself in that particular field, in the capacity of consultant, in the capacity of employee, in the capacity of advisor, in any capacity. Second thing, then write down the, if he says I have already worked, then write down the business plan. What is your plan? Please write down your business plan. Then study the marketing, give up the idea, and learn about busting. What will be the next stage? Sir, learn about the budgeting is also an important factor. You must be able to learn about budget. Yes, Abhimanyu ji, learning about the budgeting. Because if you are not able to manage your capital, manage your budget, then how you can ensure that your business will be going in a good pace? So learn about the budgeting. Next is study the market. And the last one is give up the idea. This one is last. Question number 3, which of the largest potential trouble spot? We are doing growth, right? That is the growth chart. So largest potential growth is where? At which particular point? We can assume the largest potential growth. Obviously, when the growth is very much fast, if it is really very much fast for any business, at that time, we have to think that what are the potential risk level is high. So C comes first. Then what will be the second option for second stage for the potential risk? First one is the too fast growth. Too much growth. Then little growth. Then slow growth, then sporadic growth. Ultimately, we can say whenever any business is getting too much fast growth, there may be something manipulation in the form of manipulation. There may be something when some new competitor all of a sudden they will come there, and it will be very much difficult for us to cope up the competition. Number 4, very good question. Trust. Abhimanyu ji asked, can you re-explain this growth? Okay. Growth means I have started my business today. In the first year, I earned 5 lakh rupees. My turnover was 5 lakh rupees. In the second year, my turnover was 10 lakh rupees. In the third year, my turnover was 1 CR. All of a sudden, 1 CR. In the fourth year, my turnover is 10 CR. So suddenly in the second and third year, my turnover rapidly fastly it is growing. Why? There is a risk. There is a risk. Risk is that if my turnover is rapidly growing, my profit is rapidly growing, there is the possibility that either there may be some manipulation made by my team members in books. So first I need to check about it. Getting too fast growth is not bad. It is good, but risk is higher. First risk is risk of manipulation. Second risk is if I am growing too fast, some of my known people, they can also think to start this business. Some of my team members, they may raise request for increment in their salary, or they may leave me, or some of my competitor, they can call my core team members in their team. So risk is higher. Too fast growth is good, but we must be much more attentive in that situation. That is all about Abhimanyu. Natural, it is not should be related to the startup business. High growth venture will grow rapidly. Sir, high growth is always good. I am saying it. But whenever the rate of growth is too fast, risk is comparatively too much high. So additional factor of manipulation, additional factor of your dependency on your team. If my team is doing good, I am earning good because my team is doing good. My team is doing work with their double efficiency. If one person will leave me, that means it will incur the loss equal to the 2 people, because it was the situation where a person who was working for 2 people. It was the situation where a person was working for 2 people equal to 2 people, right? Any doubt in this? Okay. I mean, growth is good. Too fast growth is also too good, but certain risks are there. Certain risks are there in that situation. Question number 4, that is important. And it is related to our day-to-day life as well. I trust. To whom you trust? Number 1, I trust nobody. Okay, B is your first choice. Second choice, Arpit ji, Pooja ji, and all people. Second choice, first choice is I trust myself. Then second choice is my partner. Third choice is few key employees, and next choice is your customers. Okay. Anyone else want to change this order, this serial? First, you should trust. Now we are talking about entrepreneurship. First, you should trust yourself. First, you should trust yourself. Second, you should trust your key employees. Second, you should trust your key employees. Third, you should trust your customers. Then you should trust your partner, and then nobody. In terms of entrepreneurship, please remember, your employees are much more reliable for you in comparison to your partner. Your customers are much more reliable to you in comparison to your partner. Abhimanyu ji thought partner mean co-founder. Co-founder is key employee. Your partner mean your accompanied person. जो आप पार्टनर रखते हैं इसकी बात. Okay, next question. I am happy when my employees are. They are late, or they are unhappy, or they are abrupt with customer, or they are resigning, or they are less dedicated than me. When you feel unhappy, most unhappy when you feel on response of your employees. Question number 5, please. Or there are 5 situations. Your employee is late, your employee is unhappy, employee is abrupt with customers, employee is resigning, your employee is less dedicated than you. In these 5 situations, which particular situation hurts you more? Which particular situation hurts you more? Your answer is option B. Somebody else? Sir, if your employee is unhappy, he may abrupt with customer, he may resign, he may be less dedicated to you, he may be late at work. So first of all, your employee must be happy. If your employee is unhappy, it should be the first reason for you to be unhappy. Second one is, what should be the order? First answer is B, unhappy. What should be the order after it? If your employee is unhappy, okay, then E is your answer. Okay, somebody else, because E is not the answer. E is not the even correct answer in terms of entrepreneurship. I will explain why. If your employee is less dedicated to you, obviously, in any situation, your employees will be less dedicated to you. Even your best employee will be less dedicated to you. And if you feel that your employees are more dedicated to you, then shame on you on being entrepreneur. If your employees are more dedicated than you, that means you are less dedicated in comparison to your employees. That means you are less dedicated in comparison to your employees. Then how you can say that you are a good entrepreneur? So in any case, in any situation, you will be more dedicated as compared to your employees. So option E is not an option. In fact, this is the 5th option. Sir, first of all, if your employee is unhappy, that is really matter of concern. Second, if your employee is resigning, then it is also a matter of concern, because you must ask the reasons. You must understand the reasons why he is resigning you. Today, one employee is resigning. Tomorrow, another one will resign with the same reason. So you must be worried about it. Then, if your employee is abrupt with your customer, any wrong behavior, misbehavior, any irritation with your customer is done by your employee, this is the red signal for you, for your business. So you must be unhappy about it. And then if your employee is late, little bit unhappy, you should be. This is the last one. Okay, though we have 20 questions, I am not asking all the questions one in detail. You can do such exercises and you can get the ideas, creativity, and even this is the test of yourself. This is the test of yourself, that how much entrepreneurship skills you have. How much entrepreneurship skills is you have. Now, we are summing up our presentation with the last slide. Hard work always beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. People says smart work is better than hard work. People always says. I also say smart work is better than hard work. But one thing I told you, consistency is better than perfection. So if you are consistent with your hard work with smart skills, then you are always better than smart work. That means hard work along with smart skills, it is always better than only smart work. Sometimes only smart work converts into shortcuts, and that is not good for your business, not good for your career as well. So hard work and smart work, please think about it. If you really want to achieve some great achievements, then ensure that your hard work and smart work should work together. One example of smart work. Years ago, when Colgate was having monopoly in the toothpaste market, in the toothpaste market, Colgate was having monopoly, and people had started to purchase use Colgate paste At that time, one fine morning, the marketing head was sitting with the MD of company Colgate Palmolive Limited, and MD asked one thing to the marketing head, boss, sale quantity of our product, of our toothpaste is almost equal in the last 1 year. Sale number of toothpaste sold by us is almost equal. And I know this is a peak situation. We have done all the efforts. Now it is really very much difficult to increase the number of pieces of toothpaste. It is very much difficult for us. I also understand it. But how we can increase our sale? Still, how we can increase our sale? You are marketing head. You must have some idea. Number of customers will be same. I agree. It is very much difficult to increase the number of customers, but still my sale will be increased. It should be increased. This is your duty. What the marketing manager has done earlier, in that tube of paste, it was the nib. He increased the size of paste needle. He increased the size. Now, same customer, in the morning, he is using toothpaste, but now, because of increasing the size of that nib of that toothpaste, the more paste was used by customers. Even they were not aware about it. Unintentionally, more paste was used by them, and with the same number of customers, sale get increased. Earlier, in a month, I used to buy 200 grams one toothpaste. Now, in 25 days, I have to purchase. That means 5 days consumption was additionally made in those 25 days. These kind of ideas can be implemented, but of course, these are short-term ideas. In the long run, your smart skill along with your hard work, this is always required. So it's all about, from my side, I tried to sum up entrepreneurship, definitions, challenges, skills, what an entrepreneur is supposed to do, a startup, different phases of a startup, then funding for a startup, and many more things. Though if we conduct session on startup, it can be another 2-hour session. If we discuss each and everything about a startup, how to obtain the certificate from government, how to prepare the pitch deck, how to approach DIPP, how to approach for grants, how to approach the incubators. So it may take another 2-hour sessions, but still I try to sum up in a very speedy manner, crispy manner. Though I believe there may be some mistakes from my part. That's why people were less active in this session. Maybe the topic is not not of their interest, or maybe my presentation was not good. There may be certain reasons, but still I am thankful for them, the students who have participated actively, who replied for some questions and who asked the questions. And I am thankful to the organizers, Neha ma'am, Swaricha ma'am, and all the team members. Thanks to everyone and participants. If you have any idea in your mind, and if you really want to work on it, one suggestion I want to give to Neha ma'am, Swaricha ma'am also, if students of Amity have really good ideas, and they have the commitment to implement them about a startup. So one startup fest can also be organized there, because youth have really very good ideas. Though this is virtual session, these people are not comfortable to share their ideas here. But if practical 2 days or 1 day, a startup expo can be organized there. Even their visits can be made to the newly successful startups. They talk with the startup entrepreneurs, so they can get comfortable with that, and they can gain some confidence about their ideas as well. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Over to you, Neha ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. So on behalf of Amity College of Commerce and Finance, sir, I extend a very hearty vote of thanks to you for sparing your valuable time from your busy schedule. And you have taken a lot of efforts to address the students related to the roadmap to the entrepreneurship, understanding startup ecosystem. And I think that this is the need of the hour. And as we are entering into the global market, so for the global competitiveness, it is the key that the student should learn about all the skills, stages, and processes. So you have covered up entrepreneurship, taking up the existing and the future businesses, that how it is possible for them to launch a new product. And in your talk, sir, you have very well covered all the points, which I believe that it is the requirement for the student to understand, because might be there are certain points in their mind that they want to start up with their business, but due to some factors, they are not clear about those things, that how they need to lead to a next level. So I think you have highlighted, you have focused on all those relevant points. So that is going to help our students to prepare oneself for tomorrow's world. So our students, they got to know lot many relevant information in terms of that it's a struggle. It is all about taking up the challenges, but you should not give up, because there is something good which is going to happen in future. So thank you, sir, for giving your time.
Thank you, ma'am.
Neeraj sir, it was an excellent session, and during whole session you have grabbed the interest of student as well as us, and we learned a lot in your lecture. And the amazing thing was the last minute quiz. It was amazing. Many answers. I have also got the answers of many of my questions, because sometimes I also feel like to start anything, ideas come up, but the main hindrance is that I cannot gather the strength to how to start with them, because there is always a risk that sometimes many many restrictions are there, that whether the money will be a challenge in near future. So I cannot means execute whatever is in the thought process. But after your session, it was really very nice, and it was really very informative, as far as if anybody wants to have their startup, because many times we are also encouraged with that scenario that many people of my if I talk about my friends, then they are also indulging in some sort of startup. You are also engaged in many of the workshops which are related to startup. Many times I got to know about your status updates, and it really inspired that yes, we can do. So thanks a lot for this session, sir. It's really a valuable session for us.
Thanks a lot, ma'am.
So sir, you have motivated us also to think into a different direction.
Thank you, ma'am.
Swaracha, shall we end this session?
Yes, ma'am, we can end the session.
Okay, so I request IT team to close the session.